What is up, savages? Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I'm old. Yeah, I need them. That's awesome. Anyway, welcome back to the program. So it's now hours and hours later, but let's talk vanes and whatnot. So before I do that, I've posted about this before, and so I want to bring it up again now. But if you aren't familiar with this product, I'm about to put you on game. The vane archery tool from DCA Customs. It is a chode of arrow with a wrap on it that allows you to set your jig to the exact offset helical you want. That's one of those products where, for a guy who's been in the industry for a long time like myself, just literally, and I've said this before, props to Kyle. He's a super smart guy. I'm not trying to salt his game, but it's like, why the F didn't I think of that? Instead, I have jigs set up for indoors, for hunting, for X10s, for, it's ridiculous. Anyway, so the vane archery tool is a must-have. You have to have it. I have like 5. I have one in my seat. I have one in the door of my truck. Literally, if you don't have a vane alignment tool, you are missing out. So anyway, so I needed to refletch some arrows, some old arrows, and I needed to make another dozen arrows today. And so I did the unthinkable. I actually changed my jig to left offset. Why? It's not because that's the way the bear shaft comes out of the bow. That doesn't mean dick. I've tested that out of the Hooter shooter. I've tested it. There's no shootable difference. If it makes you feel better, rock it. I mean, whatever floats your boat or finds the lost remote. But downrange, sorry, I don't care if you think it pauses in midair and that. Out of the Hooter shooter and out of my hands, I could not shoot a difference. So I don't give a shit. However, you know what I do hate is I hate my field points and broadheads coming loose. So that's why I just changed this over. So now, hopefully, I'm not going to have to be retightening broadheads every third shot or field points even. I will be running these Easton 4mm match grade long ranges. I did get some comments and some messages about the fact that my 5mm have basically 200 grains up front, a 75 grain brass and a 125 head, but these only have a 50 grain insert with a 125 head, so I'm down 25. So what I am gonna do, let me grab one of these, is I'm gonna call my boy Jordan up at Smith Brothers Points, who makes, hands down, it's not even a question, they make the best field, they make the best screw-in points on the market, period. It's not even close. So I got a whole bunch of 125s, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to have old Jordan send me some buck 50s. And I'm going to throw the buck 50s in the front of these 4mm just to see if maybe that makes them shoot equal. I don't think 25 grains is going to be the end all be all, but you just never know. So I am going to call Jordan, get some 150s. If it ends up making these arrows shoot better, that'll put my total arrow weight at 525. I don't care. I'll still be 300 plus. But then it would allow me to shoot the 150 grain beast stainless steel broadhead, which that won't hurt my feelings, not even a little. So basically what I have is I refletched my old arrows with the Super Saber from DCA, and I put a solid 2.5 on there, like a legit 2.5. It's for real. And obviously it is left. And for those of you wondering, these are the white ones, but Super Saber. So I put pink on my old arrows, and then I put white on my new arrows. But I also have been curious about something. Kyle over there sent me the mini sabers. And while I'm not usually into mini anything, I decided that I would give them a run. Originally, when I had talked with him a long time ago, the mini saber was going to be basically an X10 to 246 style vane, but he ended up bumping that up a bit. So it has you know, more stabilization than what an X10 would require, to be honest. That's the mini versus the super saber. Obviously, everything that has to do with these vanes has to do with the body back here. So the super saber is taller, got more material in the back. The super saber is the mini is shorter with actually a slightly longer part on the back. So basically, what I did is I am running just on 4 of them. Don't freak out. I'm running 4 and a 75-105 of the minis on these same arrows. It's only 3 grains more. So going to 4 of the mini sabers only weighs 3 grains more than 3 of the super sabers. Now I've shot the super sabers ad nauseum. I've shot them a lot. They're quiet as they're ridiculously quiet. The quietest vane I've tested. Yes, I have a decibel meter. I'm not using my phone. So super quiet. And look, I'll just be honest. In just straight up normal conditions, no wind, standing there, everything's great. Everything's great. The super saber shoots as accurate as anything else. But I've had other vanes that shoot super accurate too. Once you get some wind, however, the super sabers start to shine. So you can find that out for yourself. They do require a primer pen, and Kyle severely recommends that you put at least 2.5 degrees on them for the vane to truly function as you would want it to. One other thing I wanted to talk about is I'm running 2.5 on my jig with a straight clamp. And so basically what I wanted to talk about, and I've tested this out of the Hooter Shooter as well, is if you have your jig set up and you used a straight clamp, say on like 2.5 degrees, and then you leave your jig where it is and you use a helical clamp, you're probably going to, for effectiveness, you're probably going to add almost 0.5 degree to how the vane is going to react. And that's because you're exposing more of the side of the vane, and so it actually creates more air contact with that vane. So for me, once again, I'm lazy. So I run the straight clamp at 2.5 because I don't want to expose a bunch of side of that vane because then I ruin more vanes. And I'm lazy. There you go. And so I tested this out of the Hooter Shooter at 100 in some crazy wind, no wind, and basically that was the result that I saw, that when you run a straight jig, or excuse me, a straight clamp versus a helical clamp, the difference with the same Bitzenberger setting, it equals about almost 0.5 degree, a little under 0.5 degree. So basically a 1.5 degree helical clamp will shoot basically the same as a 2 degree straight clamp, just for some easy math. That's what I found in my testing anyway. So that's basically where we're at right now. So I will be getting these tuned up out of the Hoyt XR RX9 that is right behind me here, and we'll start shooting her and getting her ready. But I will be bumping it up to 525 grains, and we'll see if these 4mm can equal the 5mm, because the 5s have always shot better for me, but even at 600 grains. But yes, they do have 25 more grains up front. So I'm going to resolve that with a new Smith Brothers point, and we will just see what happens from there. But that's pretty much what I've been doing all day today, is fletching arrows. So I fletched all the old ones, fletched up a dozen new ones, obviously 4 of them with the 4 fletch, 75-105 with the mini, still at 2.5 degrees. So I'm going to be curious. And look, here's the thing about testing vanes and all that stuff. It is directly proportional to your ability to tune. Let's just be honest. If you go to an archery shop, no offense to an archery shop, and they just get you a bullet hole at point blank range, that's cool. But once you step back, your bow is probably not going to, that's a shop tune, and that's great. But the better you can tune a bow, the less work your vane has to do. So I'm suspecting I'm probably not going to see a difference between the 4-fletch mini at 75-105 and the regular Super Saber with 3 of those. I doubt I see a difference, but certainly could. I'm not going to detune my bow or not tune it all the way to try to find out. But I figure it would be a cool thing to test, and I had them, and so that's what I'm going to do. But anyway, that is kind of what I've been up to all day today. So now that I got these done finally, because I hate fletching arrows, I'm going to start shooting these things and check them out. So if you don't get a vane alignment tool, it is ridiculous. And I've not shot the mini sabers yet, but I can tell you right now, in all of my testing, the Super Saber throws. It absolutely slangs heat, especially when you get into some windy conditions, and it is stupid quiet. So that's gonna be it. I did talk to Kyle about the mini a little bit, and he said when he did bump it up, it is probably just about gonna be the same as what you would see in a normal 2.6-inch parabolic. So that's what's happening. So if you guys have any questions, you can continue to send me messages, or we can interact on the post or whatever. But that's what it's going to be, and we're just going to get out there and start shooting arrows. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Later.